I was wondering if there were any fights in the commissary line, like he comes up, he wants health food.
Well, excuse me, major motion picture stars. No commissary line. You know what I'm saying? Food delivered to our Winnebago trailers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Please.
It's the most ironic screen pairing since Jessica Lange and King Kong. Conan the Barbarian and Louis the Rat. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
My name is Julius, and I'm your twin brother.
Oh, obviously. The moment I sat down, I thought I was looking into a mirror.
Let's look back at this character behind you here. Look at that, from a low-angle shot, clouds behind you, wide-angle lenses. Is this how Arnold sees Arnold here?
Well, this is Danny.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, I mean, just read. DeVito. This is Danny.
Excuse me, I forgot.
The problem we had, and you could see that because you have interviewed also Danny, is that we look so much alike.
Dun, 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 dun. Here's a story of a set of twins. I'm just kidding. No Brady Bunch here. Let's take a look at this making of Twins with Arnold and Louis from Taxi. Yep. No matter what he does, he will always be Louis from Taxi. So let's have a look at this fun movie and the fun they had making it, with interviews with Arnold, Danny, and Ivan the director, and a few other folks. You never know who might pop up. Let's check it out.
You gotta talk into the phone, bozo.
In the film Twins, two brothers find each other and fill out half-empty lives. But in real life, it's also a professional opportunity for two of Hollywood's most bankable stars.
I have a sense of humor, and so I was looking forward to doing a comedy, and this was my great chance, finally, to do a film that can entertain the whole family. It's a typical family movie. It's a wonderful, entertaining film, and it's the ideal Christmas film.
Comedy may be virgin territory for Arnold, but in Danny, he's got an experienced partner.
Julius.
What?
Are you allergic to something?
No.
Why are these bumps all over your body? I mean, you're all swelled up. You look like you're ready to explode.
You see, first of all, you got to understand that you have Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. You have 4 left feet. You know what I'm saying, up there. Of course, Arnold's left feet are like yo big, you know what I'm saying?
Come on, let's assume the dance position. I'll give you a couple of pernters.
He is the most incredible actor, and he has the most unbelievable energy. When he gets in front of that camera and the director says action, you never know what to expect next.
Ooh, a little chest pain.
Well, if Arnold picked up a few comic pointers on the dance floor from Danny, Danny certainly got a few things off the set from Arnold.
Who are you? I'm Vincent's brother.
We're twins.
I never was one to, like, seriously consider my longevity through exercise. But Arnold professes this, and, you know, I do ride the life cycle now, a half hour a day. And I do my sit-ups to try to keep my abs in shape. Yeah, work on it. I still eat an extreme amount of Italian food, which...
I was wondering if there were any fights in the commissary line, like he comes up, he wants health food.
Well, excuse me, major motion picture stars. No commissary line. You know what I'm saying? Food delivered to our Winnebago trailers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Please.
I just want to live with you. It'd be fun.
Linda, look at me. Do I look like someone who could play house?
So, if you recognize her face but can't recognize what she was in, that's Chloe Webb. She was Nancy in Sid and Nancy. Yep, right there with Gary Oldman. She also was in Ghostbusters 2, which Ivan Reitman also directed, obviously. What part did she play in part 2? That is your movie trivia for today.
Like a modern-day Mutt and Jeff, they run through the film scoring major laughs right and left. And for each of them, a first case of on-screen romance. Although in this instance, it's definitely the girls who are offering the pointers.
You mind if I share the floor with you?
The film may get a lot of laughs, and it may be the hit of the holiday season. But the one sure bet is that this is one on-screen partnership that folks will be talking about for some time to come.
Physical relationship between you and Arnold. It's got to be
There is none.
history-making. I mean, this is the biggest difference ever in the history of film.
Yeah.
Challenges?
Challenges? What? Why challenge that? I mean, you got to go with it. The man is like he's a major moose. Do you know what I'm saying? He's like got arms like tree trunks. He's in incredible shape. He's a man of steel. So what are you going to do? Should we?
You can't fix it, feature it, right?
Well, shall we compare bodies? You're never going to see me and him in a bathing suit together. I'll tell you that right now, pal.
You tell your brother he messes with me, he messes with my whole family.
But wait, there's more. Yes, I've added some more stuff to this. Here's an HBO special looking at the movie Twins, which is just as hilarious. Let's check it out.
This is Arnold. This is Danny.
How you doing?
They don't walk alike, they don't talk alike, and they certainly don't look alike. Danny Devito and Arnold Schwarzenegger as twins? Come on.
So Twins is the story of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny Devito, twins separated at birth, not knowing of each other's existence, who after 35 years meet each other. The expectation is their difference. And, you know, how does Louis De Palma meet Terminator? Then we take that expectation and turn it on its ear.
This is Vincent's car. Can I help you, please?
Julius, look, there's going to be a lot of lights coming up, a supermarket.
Supermarket.
Now, I want you to take your foot off the gas, apply it to the brake. That's the thing next to the gas.
On the brake panel.
Very gently.
You got it.
Needless to say, Twins is a comedy. For Schwarzenegger, his first.
It was great. It's a change of pace, obviously, you know. Instead of shooting around with machine guns and throwing explosives and so to finally do something that is, we have to rely totally on acting. So it was very refreshing.
Even in these bone-crushing, I want to smash your head movies that he does, you know, he's always thrown in some kind of glint of humor. There was always like a line or two or something. Showed you that he had a sense of humor. He was ready, he was ripe. He wanted to do a comedy. He was really eager to do a comedy.
Twins puts Devito and Schwarzenegger in the hands of Ghostbusters director Ivan Reitman, who had the idea to cast against type.
I don't think I would have made the film with anyone else. You know, I met them each separately in 1 week, and sort of their images stuck in my brain, and I just thought it would be great to have them together in film, and it was really written exclusively for them.
The sight gag of the two would-be twins wasn't lost on their co-stars.
There was a time in Santa Fe, it was about 3/4 of the way through the shooting, and Danny and Arnold come walking out of the store in the matching outfits for the first time, and their sunglasses strutting down the street. We died.
After being with them on the set in their matching outfits for weeks at a time, they started to look more and more alike.
But playing DeVito's twin wasn't the only stretch of the imagination for Schwarzenegger.
I play a 35-year-old virgin in this film, you know, never even was out on a date before, never danced before. And so that, of course, lends itself to a lot of very, very funny scenes.
Which bed should I take?
Either bed will be fine. I always sleep on the floor.
Good night.
We had a tremendous amount of fun on this set, and this is what makes a comedy, when you work on a comedy, much different, because it is funny all the time, and there's a certain joy there, whereas in action films, you see a much more intense atmosphere, because there are a lot of stunts and explosives and guns around, and you have to be very careful, because anything that goes wrong with an action film on stunts or explosives can kill people.
Don't worry, Terminator fans. Your hero hasn't abandoned you. He's just flexing his acting muscles.
I'll be back.
This month on HBO.
Well, every time Arnold and I talk, we find an autobiographical element in his pictures. But in Twins, Arnold, I'll be darned if I can figure it out. You're not a twin. There are no twins in your family.
That's right.
So where do we start? Is there something, a long-lost relative that you've searched for, or vice versa? Anything like that in your life?
No, not at all. I mean, this is, as you know, with comedies, I mean, you just come up with a concept and you try to make a funny film. You take a certain theme, and our theme is family. Those lost twin brothers out there, and the whole idea of Danny DeVito and me being twins, I mean, that alone is really a great, great concept. And of course, when I read the script, I couldn't stop laughing. From the page one to the last page, everything was so funny. So for me, I wanted to do that so badly. I told Ivan, I said, listen, let's just go and shoot this movie. I mean, I'm on board on this one. And then working with such a great talent as Danny DeVito was for me the ideal thing. And remember, I always said that I wanted to do down the line a comedy.
Right.
Although I put a little comic relief in my films, but to do one all the way through, that was really something that I looked forward to.
You were pretty funny in Pumping Iron, and maybe a lot of us forget that. I think right there, right off the bat, there was a hint that that's what you could do.
So you're absolutely right. And in Pumping Iron, where I had the chance to be myself, that ended up being a very funny movie in many ways, and I could show my comic side, and that I had a sense of humor. As a matter of fact, several of the critics said that now the trick is to find a partner for Arnold, to put him in a comedy, like they were talking about Woody Allen or someone like that at that time. We're talking now about 11, 12 years ago. So it was really, having Danny in there was the match for me. It was the right way to start off a comedy.
May I suggest that maybe initially that Lou Ferrigno was in a way your straight man? Right?
In that case, yeah, he was my straight man. That's absolutely correct, yes, in Pumping Iron.
Well, this autobiographical contact maybe is developing here. Back in Graz, Austria, were you sort of a jokester or a funny man, or were you a serious young boy?
I always had both sides. I was always very intense about certain things when it came to reaching my goal, when it came to training hard, when it came to working hard towards the goal, being disciplined and all those things. When I did my work, I was always very serious. But as soon as I stepped out of the gym, or as soon as I was finished with my work, I was a very humorous character, and I was the jokester, like you say, and I was entertaining always everyone around me and so on. So I had those two sides, the intense side and also the humorous side.
Let's look back at this character behind you here. Look at that, from a low-angle shot, clouds behind you, wide-angle lenses. Is this how Arnold sees Arnold here?
Well, this is Danny.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, I mean, just read. DeVito. This is Danny.
Excuse me, I forgot.
The problem we had, and you could see that because you have interviewed also Danny, is that we look so much alike.
Indeed.
And the director had difficulties, differentiating who is who in this picture. And that's why we came up with this slogan, only our mother can tell us apart.
Well, and he had to part his hair on the opposite side, too, so we could
That was
tell.
actually the only way that he could tell us apart was with his hairstyle.
Arnold, finally, I have been joking around with Ivan and Danny about this being a dance movie. It really is kind of a musical. You guys are dancing from beginning to end in this thing, one way or another.
Well, yeah. I mean, talking about dancing, this was one of those scenes where Danny really pulled a trick on me. Yeah, because, I mean, we rehearsed every scene, and he refused to rehearse the dancing scene. And I said to myself, I got to prepare myself. He says, don't let me go in cold in those situations. He says, no, listen, I don't have time now. I think it's much better if we just do it cold and let the camera run and film whatever happens. I said, no, we can't do that. Anyway, we ended up doing it cold. And so in the film, you see sometimes those giggles there, which are the natural ones, because I held on to his wrist, like you do in a dance. I grabbed his wrist, and he starts screaming loud. He says, "Nah, don't break my wrist."
He says you stepped on his feet, too.
Yeah, and then I stepped on his feet. He says, "No, don't you understand what I said? Step by my feet, not on my feet." And to every little thing I did, he criticized immediately. He says, no, relax your jaw. He says, remember, you're not wrestling a wild boar here. And I mean, this whole thing went on and on like this for hours. Every time we did a take, it was done differently. That's his strength, his improvisation. And if you're not careful, if you're not improvising right along with that, you're stuck. I mean, so you have to be very quick there. And that's one thing I learned from Danny is to learn how to improvise and to make every take a little bit different.
Man, Danny DeVito, now that is a great actor. I mean, Taxi. Who didn't watch Taxi? The Penguin, Batman Returns. Forget about it. He is such a great actor. And there he is. That's the man. I loved him in Terminator, The Running Man, Terminator 2, Raw Deal, Commando, Maggie the Zombie Movie, and yes, I loved Jingle All the Way. Whew. It feels real good to get that off my chest. Also, Pumping Iron, the greatest sports documentary of all time. I mean, come on, man. But all kidding aside, it's a pretty good movie. And what most people do not know is that they did the movie for free. Yes, free. They did not take a salary to do the movie. However, they did make a deal to where they got part of the profits, a percentage of it. Because the studios did not think that this would be a good movie, let alone a profitable movie. So they made a killing off of royalties. Because the movie did great in theaters. VHS sales, rentals were great. The TV rights were very good. And since then, the movie's been on, guess what? Streaming. Blu-ray, DVD. They continue to get a piece of that pie. You should love my channel because I have a lot of behind-the-scenes footage and interviews of your favorite movies, as well as a lot of really interesting stuff. So stay tuned because you never, ever know what I have in my collection that I'm going to pull out and throw at you. If there's something in particular that you want to see, then just comment because you never know, I might have it. You won't know until you ask. We'll see you later.